thank you both for doing this, Bud. Thank you, JD, and all that. We'll throw it to JD first. A two-parter. How's your day going so far, and where are you today?
Well, today we are in Elko, Nevada. We have a day off. We played in Grand Junction, Colorado last night, and then tomorrow night we play in Red Bluff, California. So it's about 1,000 miles between the two spots. So we stopped here in Elko to have a day off and let the bus driver get some sleep. And there's a wonderful Walmart and an Applebee's kind of nearby. So we'll go check out all that fun stuff today. Um, I'm kind of worried about some of the guys going to these. There's a couple of hardware and sporting goods stores, and um, yeah, these guys will buy gadgets and things that fill up the bus faster than
Yeah.
than anything. I mean, there's 10 guys on this bus, so it's cramped to begin with, but then everybody starts showing up with, oh, I got this new tool thing, that might help us, set up the show quicker or whatever. It's goofy. These guys will buy anything that they could find.
It's like they're selling tennis rackets, two for the price of one. I got six.
Well,
Yeah.
Bud, before I ask you a bunch of questions about love and hate and Desperate Places, the new record, being somebody who's been on the road so many years, what are your go-tos on the road? For example, some people I speak to who are seasoned veterans on the road I go to the coffee place first, then I take a nap. And then there's other people that go, no, I'm going to find the three craft breweries, get on the bike trail, and then go to the show. Do you have a routine like that at this point?
Well, I've been traveling with bands since I was a teenager, and then worked as a roadie for quite a while. So I've had it worse on the road in the old days. It's not as easy as it is. Like we didn't have these type of fancier buses, back
Mm-hmm.
when I was doing it. So um, it's a pretty comfortable life, and honestly, and I think JD will vouch for this. I spend most of my time on the bus. We have direct TV, my creepy little health foods in the refrigerator, and so I spend most of my time here. And sometimes the band and crew will all go out to dinner together, and I'll do that. The one thing that has been our recreation over the years, especially in this band, is bowling.
Oh,
So on days off when we have a chance, we love to bowl. And we actually in Grand Rapids, Michigan, years and years ago, uh, Def Leppard was in town too, and they had a night off. And the night we both were off, Billy Idol was playing there, and I ran into Joe and the singer of Def Leppard in the lobby. He goes, "What are you guys doing?" And I said, "We're going bowling." Next thing you know, we're bowling with Def Leppard, and I don't remember, it was full to a full bowling alley, and they put us some lanes at the end. But at one point, we actually lined up. Joe said, "You know what we ought to do is get this over with." And literally, the security for the bowling alley put up a little rope thing. And it's like we were doing a show. The whole bowling crowd would line up and we would take pictures with them all the way through until we got them all done. And then
wow.
tonight we just bowled. But yeah, bowling at Applebee's. And I mean, it's not, we're not the kind of guys who would find the hiking trails.
Yeah, we're not tourists when we
Yeah.
we pretty much stick to the bus, the dressing room of the venue, and the stage.
Yeah.
And some of the guys, Kirk will get out there and he'll walk around and take pictures and stuff like that. But for the most part, our guys are like, you know, get off the bus, go get set up, get ready for the show, play the show, break down, get back on the bus, let's roll to the next town. We're playing every night for the most part, so
Right.
we have very few days off. And it'd be great to be able to see some of these, amazing towns that we go to, but everybody in this band and crew has about four jobs. So it's everybody's working hard all day, and so it's not as easy to get out there and do fun stuff.
And also, by the time Kirk and I wake up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's not much of the day left.
Well, here's why I'm not, to rudely interrupt you, here's why I'm not hysterically laughing at the bowling thing. And this is a weird name drop, but I wrote a book about David Lee Roth, and that entailed me like getting into the trenches and like getting people from every era talking to me. And his bands are bowlers. That's what they do on the road. So I'm wondering if you are missing out and don't know about a hard rock bowling league that you haven't been invited to be part of yet.
Yeah, I'd love to be invited to be a part of that, but no, so far
Well,
we know David, pretty well. He's always been very kind to us, so I'm gonna have to rattle his cage about that.
Oh no, they went without him. It was the band and
They went they went
but
without.
the
I
David
get
Lee
it.
Roth
Okay.
reunion with Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan was supposed to be the Lucky Strike. So
Right.
does everything come back to bowling in rock? I don't know, but
Yeah,
well,
it
also
makes sense. I mean, it's
yeah,
a thing that everybody can go do,
yeah.
and it's fun no matter how bad you are or how good you are. And they have alcohol usually, which is, when we have the time, it's like, let's blow off a little steam, throw a ball as hard as we can, and if we knock something down, great. If not, also great. It's just fun. It's
but
low stakes
this
and entertaining.
rudely interrupting you. This is not the bowling interview. This is the fact that Love and Hate and Desperate is the new record, and you're touring in support of it. And I believe it's your 17th release, but then that doesn't count the outside collaborations the Boxmasters have been doing. So when did you actually wrap this record? When did you master it and go, it's done?
Yeah, we finished Love and Hate in October of last fall.
Wow.
We had another record all slated to be the one that we were going to release. Um, that one was called Missing a Heart. So we were kind of, had that one all, for a year. It was ready in the pipeline, and 30 Tigers was getting ready to release that. We finished Love and Hate, and it was like, this is the one we have to put out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called, the label, and it's like, hey, I want to switch which record we're releasing next. And luckily there was enough time to, swap it out and still make all the deadlines. And it just was, first off, this record, usually Millie and I just make the records by ourselves. But this one we had Raymond, our live bass player, who's been with us, for 15 years, on and off in various, responsibilities. And Kirk McKim, who's been with us for, almost 10 years. And, we had him come out and play. And, this was, we were calling this the rock record, because it was, some songs that were kind of heavier than other, records would allow. And so we've had them kind of, some of these songs piled up for, 15 years, like Jane Mansfield's Car, which was kind of the first track released. We wrote in 2009. And
Wow.
so it just never made it onto a record. It just felt like it was just a little too rock. But Raymond talked to Bud and said, hey, you guys played this song, Jane Mansfield's Car, back when I, started working with you guys. I love that song. Why don't we put it on? Why don't we play it? And so we were like, okay, let's, think about this. And we started writing more, rock songs. And then Raymond and Kirk came out. They put parts on the record, and it sounds more like us when we play live. So, that's one of the reasons I was like, well, this is a great record to release right before a tour, because people, will get a better idea of how we sound live when they hear it. And and one of the things about, the last day of making the record, excuse me, I've got a cold.
Who doesn't? Everyone's got a cold at this point.
I'd say I'm allergic to Oklahoma because that's where it started. But so the last day of when Kirk and Raymond were out, and basically we were done with the record. Well, Billy said, "Hey, I've got a song idea started," and I was like, "Well, my kid's got a doctor's appointment, so I'm not going to be able to be there till the evening. And I show up to the studio, and these guys have a whole song written. And they're just sitting there waiting for me to, finish, like, let's put it down, let's record it. And so we did, and you know, I'm angry now every night that we play this song because, it's like my favorite song on the record, and I wasn't there to help form it. So
That
so
that
I'm super
doesn't
proud of
stop.
my boy.
A lot of our favorite artists of all time have a co-writes on songs they weren't even in the same zip code of being written. So
Oh,
that doesn't mean that you can't change a word, get a third.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm not gonna do that.
We
I'm
don't
all
believe
for
in
the
that.
if you were there and you're writing on the song, then you deserve credit. If you're not, you know, you weren't there.
Well, you know,
There's no,
well, in
you know,
Nashville,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
in Nashville, if you bring somebody a cup of coffee, you get on the song.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Well,
So that's not our deal. I mean, we're, you know, what's the I can't think of it.
democratic,
I mean, it's
functional, nice people.
yeah. I mean, honestly, there's another song on the record called "The Firing Falcons."
Hmm.
So the start of that song came because my middle son was 8, and in third grade you get a recorder in school, and
Hmm.
that's their music lessons.
Oh yeah.
Well, he and some buddies instantly started a band called the Firing Falcons, and they wrote a song. And I took a picture of the lyric, or actually my wife took a picture of the lyric, I think, and sent it to Billy and said, "Hey, this was Luke's song. His band wrote this song." And so, like a day later, Billy says, "Hey, I got the song." And I'm like, "What song?" He's like, "Luke's song." And he, wrote all the words for, this song about this band of 8-year-olds. And we got in and then wrote some music for it. And it's and I was like, I'm not putting Luke's name on it. I don't want him to, but then at the, last second, it's like, no. Billy's like, you got to put him, he wrote words, you got to put his name on the record. And so we did. So it's fun, but it's like Billy's daughter is inspired and co-written songs with us, and Luke and my youngest other son has given us titles, and we're always stealing stuff from the kids, and hopefully they won't hold it against us later
yeah,
on.
they've inspired a lot of stuff. They really have. Bella, my daughter, wrote a song with me one time. We set out to write this song together because I had this idea for it. It's called "Whoever I Am." It's on "Stranded in a Stain," which is a two-part concept record. And I ended up using 75% of her words, you know,
Hmm.
because she just had that feeling in her right then about that subject. And it was awesome.
Yeah, and she sang on the end of the song too.
Yeah,
Like,
she did.
that
She
was
sang a little bit of the song.
it's really a touching moment. It's got so much emotion to it when you get to her part. It's like, holy cow. And
Yeah.
so that's
It
one of those records you can only download on our website, and or pick up live at one of our shows until I,
it
open the store back up again.
sounds like you're getting your kids publishing deals and getting them into the musicians union too at the same time.
Yeah.
Because isn't it like the SAG-AFTRA Taft-Hartley thing? Like if you appear in 3 things, then you have to join the union.
Right, right.
You may have done
Yeah.
that with AFM, but back to you two in the early days. What was the band or the bands that kind of made you realize that you were on the same page? It would be very easy to go, "Oh, the Beatles, we like the Beatles," and all that. But was there a particular thing like you both heard Cheap Trick and you went, "You like that? I like that. We're friends now."
Well, I think I mean, outside the obvious ones, the Beatles, the Byrds, the Beach Boys, which influenced us heavily.
Hmm.
Outside of that, I would say that the number one band that JD and I agreed on that you can actually kind of hear on our sound sometimes was the Kinks. Very, we were both fans of the Kinks and still are. And as a matter of fact, this year, for the first time, we've changed our encore song, and we're playing a little known Kinks song in our encore, and it's so great to play. And so yeah, I mean, I would say that band, and you
That
know,
and baseball and college football and
yeah,
things like that. That's kind of
yeah,
we you know also both grew up in states with Kansas in the name, and uh, it's we were aren't our beginnings aren't too dissimilar. We're both grew up as poor kids in rural parts of the middle of the country. So who also just it's like Los Angeles was the land of dreams, and that's we both ended up there. And so um it's like, and without even thinking about it, it's like I was such a Beach Boys fan when I was a kid,
Mhm.
so it totally makes sense that that would have been in the back of my mind without consciously thinking about it. But that it's like that's the place I gotta go. It's like uh, I loved them so much that it was just really always something that you know it totally makes sense to me. It's like I you know moved to LA, buy a
Yeah.
Hawaiian shirt, a Dodgers hat, and it's like I'm instantly just, it's like this is my place.
I don't blame you one bit, but being mindful of your time here, I have one more question about you folks in the Boxmasters, and then you're free for me to go to Applebee's, get the tennis rackets, etc. And that's, when I look at what the Boxmasters have accomplished, the number of releases, the opening up for some of the biggest bands of all time, the collaborating with Government Mule and other great artists, etc. Is there something that you're still hoping will happen for the Boxmasters, or is the Boxmasters really just a take it one album at a time kind of project and group?
no, we're open to all kinds of things, and the people we have collaborated with or open for whatever, like for instance, ZZ Top several times.
Mm-hmm.
But we hope that kinds of relationships continue and we get new ones because it's a great thing to put minds together and usually when we've been asked to appear on someone else's record, it was because they asked us. They there was some vibe or some reason they needed us to do it. It wasn't like, hey, let's get guys that people know who they are all together and make a celebrity record. It was never like that.
Yeah.
It was always for a specific reason. And yeah, Warren Haynes asked me to sing on that song on that Government Mule thing, and but he said, "Man, I was thinking about this. I think you're the guy that needs to do this part," and sent it out, and then Warren and we ended up writing a song with Warren that's not out yet. I mean, he hasn't put it
Oh,
out, and we haven't put it out because we can't decide which one of us should put it out.
But
so
yeah, and then like
yeah.
on Ian Hunter, Ian Hunter's latest couple of records, we're big fans of Mott the Hoople, and so once Ian asked us to play on some songs, that was a no-brainer for us. And it was a thrill. It's thrilling to see your name on the back of a record because we're record junkies, and so reading liner notes and seeing our names along with everybody else that played on Ian's record along, aside from him, it's
Mhm.
just really, it's a thrill to see that and be a part of it and love those songs that he did on the Defiance 1 and 2 records. And if people haven't heard those, that's um, really, really good stuff.
Yeah, truly one of the greats as a solo artist, as a Mott the Hoople guy, whatever it is, Ian Hunter rules. But thank you both for the decades of great music. Looking forward to what's to come. I'm glad to hear that there's another record pretty much in the can. There's
Yeah,
the Warren
stay tuned on
collaboration.
we'll put something out at Christmas again. You know, we've been putting stuff on our website at Christmas. That seems to be a good thing to do because we've got, you know, we've got several records done that, you know, it's like we don't know what to do with. When we get home, we've got 2 finished records that we need to mix. And, you know, and at that point, you know, it's like we'll be dying to record some new stuff. So, you know, we'll, you know, figure out a way to, you know, push the mixing back and just start recording new songs. And, you know, eventually we'll find some time to finish everything up. But
and the label will only put out one a year, so we find these other ways to put them out for the fans, you know. Yeah.
Unless you build it into the deal that 30 Tigers have to do 2 a year. But in the meantime, thank you for all you do and looking forward to it all.
It's, you know,
Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you, Darren.
Paltrocast.
Connor, I'm going to say good morning to you. It's good afternoon here. But how's your day going aside from doing press, you know, that kind of thing?
Good. We just mashed in on a new beer that or not a new beer, but a beer that we're brewing this morning. So got here early to mill some grains and mash in and brewing beer all day today.
So your establishment is known for being hop centric, but also traditional in a way. Is this a hoppy beer that you're brewing currently?
Yeah, actually, this is our flagship beer that we're brewing today. That's called Dopo. So it's kind of we call it a LIPA. So here in Utah, we've got some funny ABV laws. So everything on draft has to be 5% or less. And so, I kind of came up with this beer. It's something I brewed at home, I don't know, 50 times. It's something we brew almost every week. It's our flagship beer. That we like to call it IPA because I hated the term session IPA. I think it has kind of a negative connotation to a lot of people. And so on the menu, it says LIPA. And I did that kind of intentionally to make people ask, what the hell is an LIPA? And then we get a chance to kind of tell our story a little bit. And we call them IPAs because IPA really needs to be 6%, but we're here in Utah, so we got to make some 5%ers. So we brew it and hop it like a 6.5% beer. So it has a lot more body. It has a lot more flavor, a lot more aroma than people expect from a 5% IPA. And it's something that we kind of hang our hat on. It's something that that kind of separates us because really most breweries in the country, there's no reason to make this beer. You would just make this beer 6.5%. You know, you wouldn't make it 5%, but we do some interesting things to it to kind of really sort of, I don't know, like trick you into thinking that there's a little more alcohol. So it has some more, you know, because alcohol brings sweetness, alcohol brings body. And so we do some things to give it that kind of extra, gumption to kind of to hold up to the high hopping load that we add to it. And people really embrace it. It's really interesting to see people come from, you know, especially other areas of the country. And they're like, oh man, I got to drink a 5% IPA. Like this is going to suck. And then they have one and they're like, oh wow. Like I wish we had these at home. Like I wish I could, you know, get this much hop flavor and aroma at 5%. I'd drink more, you know, I'd probably have a couple more. And that's, you know, I think that's kind of what we're all about is we love hops for sure, but we also, you know, like to drink beer and being able to have these like really fun, highly hop beers at a lower ABV actually is great. We really enjoy it. So.
But speaking of body and party, the part in the pun right here, it's Wednesday, which means it's run club for your establishment as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a pretty busy day for you between unveiling the latest and the greatest, having the Mountain Beer Festival in a couple of days, and run club today. Is Wednesday usually your busiest day of the week?
No. I mean, run club ends up being we get a lot of people for sure. I think we get as many as 70 people sometimes for run club on our event nights, which if you saw our space, it's a tiny little space. We only have like 32 seats in here. So it's jam packed for sure. Definitely are busier days, and run club has definitely gained some more momentum over the last 6 months. We do a lot of like really fun events and partnerships with other brands to get people here. And it's part of it's part of the reason, you know, I kind of chose the name Offset is really trying to kind of do what we can to offset the potential negative side effects of the product we make in alcohol. I don't know. When I was kind of starting this brand, I felt a little, I don't know if the right word is like a little bit of a conundrum of like, you know, profiting off of alcohol and profiting off of something that someone could, obviously in moderation, it's great. And there's a lot of positive things, but so we try and kind of organize these group events, these group exercise events. So we have run club all year long on Wednesdays at 6. We run between 4 and 2.5 miles. We've never canceled one. We run in the snow. We've done one at 12 degrees in a blizzard, and we still get people to show up. And then actually in the wintertime, we also do on Thursday nights, we do uphill ski club. So, which is really fun. And we're, because obviously we're a brewery at a ski town, we're 2 minutes from the bottom of the ski area. So we're fortunate enough to be able to take advantage of that. And we all meet at the bottom of the resort at 6 o'clock and put our skins on and skin up the designated route at Park City and rip some skins, and then come back and I either make people food or buy people food, and everyone eats for free and hangs out and has a good time. And we get as many as 100 people to show up for that, which is, kind of mind-boggling. I mean, there was 4 people that showed up to the first one we did 2 years ago. So to see the momentum that it's gained, and it's just a really great, community-oriented activity that really, it's amazing when you've had a really long day at work and the last thing you maybe really feel like doing is exercising, but having that group motivation and having something to kind of get you out there and get you off your butt. It's amazing how impactful that can be, and really how good you feel afterwards. So that's kind of the impetus for all of these things that we do. So.
Got it. The first time I came to Park City, which is like around 10 years ago, the people around Visit Park City were going, please get out the message that we're more than skiing and Sundance. And you were going, yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But now between the Mountain Bier Festival, Park City Song Summit, etc., it really does seem like it's a year-round city. When did you start to notice that Park City was more than skiing and Sundance?
Yeah, that's interesting, actually. I would think you talk to a lot of retailers or businesses around here, and they've noticed definitely an uptick in summer business. I think especially, honestly, since Vail bought Park City, I think that's when really we've noticed a lot more changes in town and bringing just more people and more awareness for Park City.
Right.
Good or bad. I mean, you used to be able to go to have half off meals everywhere around town in the summertime when the lifts weren't spinning. We don't have that. We're not fortunate to have that anymore, unfortunately. So for some of us that are locals here, it's a bit of a change. But I think in the last kind of 7-8 years, we've seen summer definitely become more and more important from a business perspective. And we have some unbelievable mountain biking here in town. We have, I believe, over 500 miles of single track just here within city limits in Park City. So it is a lot of great skiing, but there's a lot of great biking here to do in the summertime as well. So there's a lot of good stuff going on for sure.
What drew you to Park City in the first place? Because very few people are born there.
I'm from Vermont originally, but I work in the ski industry. I still actually have another job. I'm a ski rep as well. So I have worked for the ski company for my whole adult life, literally the day I graduated from college. And I was transferred here for work 17 years ago, I believe, 16 or 17 years ago. I wanted to be here. I was in California at the time, and I wanted to move kind of back to the Intermountain area. I went to school in Montana. So been here basically for the last 17 years. Park City, it's the accessibility, honestly. Salt Lake, we can be at a major airport with direct flights to Amsterdam and Paris and Barcelona in 25 minutes from my house. Yet I live in a ski town.
Paltrocast.